Hello everybody! A bit of a different video for you today, but I'm going to show you the quiet book that I made for Finley. I've had a couple of requests since my video on what I pack for my toddler in his carry-on luggage to entertain him on the plane and at the airport, so I'll put that in a link for you if you want to check that video out as well. But today I'm going to show you how I made this quiet book. Now, just a disclaimer before we start, I'm no expert sewer, but I was really surprised actually at how well this book came together, and I just thought I'd share it for you. Any of you mums or dads or grandparents out there who wanted to have a go at making a book like this, the things that I needed for this, to make this book, apart from the needle and thread obviously to do the sewing, and that was just a standard embroidery needle and thread. I also used a glue gun. This is just a mini glue gun that I got from Hobbycraft, and it just takes glue sticks like this, which I also got from Hobbycraft. But when you buy the glue gun, it does tell you on the packet which glue sticks it takes, so you can buy glue sticks like these also from Amazon. And the other thing that I needed a lot of was Velcro, and I'll talk more about this in a minute as we get into the book. So I'll just move these things out of the way. Okay, so we'll start with the front of the book. So obviously it says my little boy's name. These wooden letters I got from Boys, which is like a crafty cheap shop here in the UK. Might even just be in the north of England, but I'm sure that you can find something similar on Amazon, and I'll have a look for you and link them below if I can find it. And these I've just hot glued on, and they're pretty sturdy. Now my toddler's obviously a little bit older, but if you've got a toddler who is younger, or you're making this for a baby, then obviously you want to be mindful about anything like this that potentially could be pulled off and go in mouths, and either make sure you secure it on very firmly with thread or just use something else. And there's a different way that you can that you can put on names, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we've just got this name, which is hot glued on there, and then the pom-pom trim, which goes all the way around the edge and onto the back of the book, and that is just glued on with hot glue as well. Then it's got this little panda replica on the front. Finley is obsessed with pandas, so that's why I chose this for the front. And all I did was have a look online at images of pandas, and then I just drew out on the felt and cut out the shapes that I needed, and then just sewed them together. You'd think it was tricky, but actually once I got started it was pretty easy. The cheeks there have been glued on with hot glue. And then the book attaches with this strap here, so it's just got a button that is glued on. It's not a working button, because underneath there is Velcro, which again is hot glued. You'll sense a theme here, hot glued on either side of the book. Don't do that until the very end, because you don't know how thick your book is going to be. It depends obviously on what you put on each page as to how thick the book is going to be. So I'll go through each page with you, and then at the end I will show you how I managed to fix all the pages together and attach it all to make it into a book. So make sure that you keep watching to the end to see that part. Very important, otherwise all your pages will be loose. Although if you did want to do something small and loose, I've got an example here of something that I started for a friend who's just had a baby, and my plan with this one is to just do these individual pages. I'm going to put something on either side, there's nothing on the back at the moment, and then I'm just going to put a ring bind loop through them, and then they can use them as like a little pram book or flip pages. So you don't have to have them attached as a book if you want to do separate pages. Okay, so let's get into the book. So the first page has got his name, and I have chain stitched this on. If you're not sure how to do chain stitch, then there are lots and lots of tutorials on YouTube. If you just search chain stitch, then there'll be really easy tutorials for you to follow. It's a really easy stitch to do and great for beginners, and I liked it because it's textured. I thought the idea behind this page is that he could have a go at tracing his name with his fingers, which is why I've used lowercase letters, apart from obviously for the capitalisation at the start of his names, because it's really important to teach your children, if you didn't know already, lowercase letters before they learn the uppercase letters. Everything in the book I have tried to tailor to Finley's interests. So you'll see lots of things like flaps, lots of things where he can put things inside of things, zips, because that's another big interest of his at the moment, counting, things that he can pull off and stick back on. So I've tried to tailor all the pages to suit his needs, but you could really do whatever you want to suit your own child's needs. So the first page is a face. So we've got here just a big piece of felt. In fact, it was 2 pieces of felt that I stitched together using blanket stitch. It's not actually stitched onto the page. I've stitched it all the way around with blanket stitch after I cut out the piece, and then I stuck it onto the page using the hot glue, and it's really firm. It's definitely not coming off. It's nice because it looks like it's stitched, but it's not. And then we've got all the different parts of the face here, so I'll just show you how it works. So we've got some hair, some eyes, sorry for the wobbly camera, I'm doing my best with setup, nose and a mouth, got some ears. This is great for little ones when they're learning all about themselves, about the different body parts. That's something else that Finley's really interested in at the moment. There's his ears, or he could have a surprise mouth instead, and I just chose to do a few different variations because of the limiting space here. But obviously if you had more space you could do lots of different variations on eye colour and things. These pieces are just single pieces of felt that I have cut out and then stuck a piece of Velcro onto the back of. So this is all obviously hook and eye, hook and loop, is it called? Loop and... I can't remember, you know what I mean anyway. So this is like the scratchy part of the Velcro, and this on here is the soft part of the Velcro. And so I've put all the scratchy on the back of the material and the soft part here, and I did that on purpose because you don't want this to be the scratchy material, because then obviously when the book's folded it's going to pull all of this felt on this side, which won't look very good. These eyes have obviously got 2 layers, so they're just again glued together, but if you wanted to, and I probably should to be honest, just run around that with a stitch just to make sure that that doesn't come off. This Velcro I got in strips. I ordered it off Amazon, and I will link it below for you. So it came obviously with both the soft Velcro and that scratchy side Velcro, both sides that you need. And so I literally cut the strips to size, and it comes with like a sticky backing. So I didn't even need to hot glue it on. I just stuck it down and pressed it down onto the pages really firmly, and then obviously cut out the bits that I needed to put on the different body parts. The next page is a house, and this is mainly because Finley loves things that lift the flaps. If you've seen those books that have the felt flaps rather than the paper flaps, I love those books because little ones, especially babies, can really go to town with the flaps and they won't rip. So that was the idea behind this one. So just some of them open, and then we've got little things behind them. This is his favourite because he loves cars. And there's something behind the cloud there, and these are just, I'll show you this one, they're just appliques, again, that I got from the craft shop boys, and these ones again are glued on, but then also if you can see on the ballerina here, it's glued, but I've also gone around the edge and stitched it on as well, just to give it that extra element of support. The next page has got flowers on. This is a really simple one. It's just got a flap, and then these flowers you can pull off. Let me show you. You can pull off and then stick in the flap. This is a really great one for counting. You can obviously count them off when you put them in the flap, and then you can count them back on. There are 10 flowers on the page, and these ones are just stuck on with circular pieces of Velcro, so that's different than the Velcro that I was talking about before. Again, I'll link it below for you. And then these are craft flowers that I bought from the craft shop, and I've just stuck with the hot glue, stuck it onto the back of the flower there so that it sticks on nicely. And this is just glued along the edges. The next page has zips because Finley is obsessed with zips, and pulling zips backwards and forwards, so that's why we've got that on there. And then he also loves shapes. So all I did for this one was I cut out some shapes from cardboard, and then I use these as templates to put on the felt, to cut out the felt shapes. And then I also pinned them as I was creating the background here. I pinned them to the felt, and then I did a running back stitch around the edge of the shape. And so then it matched exactly with the shapes that we've got in here. So I shall quickly show you. We've got heart, triangle, star, square, diamond and circle, but you could do any shapes that you desired. And these shapes are made with 2 pieces of felt that I've cut out and put together just so that they're a bit more sturdy, and then I've put running back stitch around the edge of them. Next page is coins. So we've got a little piggy bank here, and in the pocket are some coins. This is just some gold sparkly foam, and I just cut out some circular shapes for coins. If you had older children, then using actual monetary amounts would be much better, but for Finley this was simple enough. And then the coins pop inside the piggy bank, and they will actually go all the way down. On the other side then, I decided to do a treasure chest. So when you open the treasure chest, the coins that you've posted through the pig, you can see the flap there. It's a bit rough and ready, but oh well. The coins come through into the treasure chest on the other side. And then we've also got some numbers for counting, which is quite nice because it links to the coin activity. So obviously the wooden numbers down the side, these are the same type that are on the front to spell Finley's name, hot glued on. And then the ribbon is also hot glued on, and then we've just got some beads here. Now I would say that if your child is prone to pulling things, or they're destructive, or they are at a young age where they put things in their mouths, I'd probably avoid doing something with beads. But for any older toddlers or preschoolers, then obviously at your discretion, but I chose to do that for Finley because I know that he'll be fine with them, and also I know that he only uses this book when he's being supervised. And then the last double page we've got is a garden theme. So we've got here some carrot planting with a wheelbarrow. Again, that's just pieces of felt that I kind of fiddled around with to make the right shape. I looked online for a picture of a wheelbarrow, and I stuck them all down with glue. And then obviously this piece, these carrots can either be in the wheelbarrow or they can be popped inside the soil like that. And then these are just little fuzzy felt stencils that were actually, or stickers, in this local supermarket because it's nearly Easter. And then the last page that we've got is this one. So this is just some fake grass. I just cut a strip off and glued it to the bottom. I have to say, if I was going to do this again, I probably wouldn't do that because, as you can see here maybe, the grass falls off. So unless you've got some grass that's definitely not going to fall off, I probably wouldn't recommend doing that, but you know, it looks nice. And then I've got this little crate here that I made, apple crate, just from some spare felt. That's just glued down, and I made sure to glue it all the way to about here because obviously these apples are very small and I didn't want them to get lost all the way down there. So the idea is with the apples that you can take them off and put them on the tree, obviously explaining that this is not the way apple picking goes, but you can encourage the children to set it up with the apples that are on the tree, and you could even have some that have fallen down onto the ground. And then obviously you can take the apples off and put them in the crate. You could count them one by one. This is a really good tool as well for if you're learning, if your child's learning number bonds, if you know how many apples you've got there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so you could say, for example, if I've got 8 apples and I take 3 away, how many will there be? And then you've got that visual there to help. So this is a really good activity even for slightly older children that have already started school. I have explained to you how I've done each page, so I'm just going to quickly run through now how I attached the pages together. So the first thing that I did was get a large piece of felt from the shop. So it was this light blue colour. And then these pieces here were already pre-cut. I will put in the description box down below the measurements of these squares in case you want to buy them for yourself or you want to do this yourself. Obviously you can cut it out yourself, but it's a lot easier if you can get the pre-cut squares. I put the squares together. I decided in which order I wanted the colours to be. I lay them all together and then I lay them out on top of this large blue piece of felt. I didn't cut the blue felt first. I lay the pages here, and I'll turn it this way so maybe a bit easier to see. And then all I did with my glue was to go through and glue the pages together. So for the first one, I put the glue like this, and then I pressed the cover down and held it in. Waited a few seconds, put a bit more glue on, pressed it down, held it in. Don't do the whole strip at once because the glue dries too quickly and it will come apart. And then that was the same for when I was gluing the pages to each other. So you can see the seam here. So I literally lifted up where the felt was joined. I put a little bit of glue on, pressed it down and held it. So I did that for all of the individual pages. I did that for all of the individual pages, and then I glued the front and the back page to my big piece of felt. And then when I'd done that, I went and I cut round this blue piece of felt because obviously I had these as a size guide. So I cut round there, just pressed down on here to make sure that it was nice and firmly done. And then the book was attached. As I said, I didn't do this part until the very end because you don't know how thick your book's going to be. So I just pre-cut this out and I cut it really long. And then when I'd finished the book, I stuck it on the back here with some hot glue. I zigzagged the glue like this and went around the edges to ensure it was really sturdy. And then passed it around the front and worked out where my Velcro would need to go to mean the book was secure. So that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked my little quiet book, or Finley's little quiet book, should I say. If you've got any questions about anything that I talked about, if I was unclear on anything and you'd like me to clarify, then please just ask me in the comments below. Or if you prefer to, you can send me a direct message via Instagram or Facebook. The links for those are below as well, along with my email address if you'd prefer. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and stick around because next week we have got a toddler clothing haul and a toy rotation video coming, showing you how I rotate out the toys in Finley's play area to make the most out of them. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye.